This week's proud sponsors of the episode are Murphy & Young Limited. They design, manufacture, supply and erect bespoke timber kit houses and summer houses. You can visit them at murphyandyoungltd.co.uk or contact them at info@murphyandyoungltd.co.uk. If you're looking for any information, if you get any projects they can help you with, then just give them a shout. The lads are top notch. Hope you enjoy the episode. Cheers. Alright everybody, welcome to episode 16 of the Roundup, the Kilmarnock Pie first round. You look like you could fit a big Kilmarnock Pie right in your gubber when you opened it.
Mate, I'd love a Kelly pie, mate. When's John Gall going to start sending me one of the care packages doing for Christmas?
Mate, I feel like John's got the Kelly Pies, Mick's got the peri peri chicken. I just don't feel like they're helping us out with anything.
See, being honest with you, mate, I've said a lot of nice things about Darvo this season, so at the very least, I should be getting one of the Gucci boxes set down with the rolls and everything in it, the full shebang.
Mate, you would think so, but I don't know. We'll see. Right, let's get right into it. A lot of games off this weekend, obviously, with the adverse weather.
Right.
Friday night, first round of the Kilmarnock Pie Cup. Hamley Row 3, Girvan 1, Gartcairn 3, Fanart 1. Moving on to Saturday, Rob Roy 1, Talbot 0, Ardrossan 0, Arthur 5, Ashfield 6, Glasgow Uni 2, Benburn 4, Kilsyth 1, Bonington 8, Newmans 0, Killook 0, Clydebank 4, Forth 2, Perthshire 1, Glenafton 3, BSC 0, Hurlford 2, Kilburn 0, Kilwinning 5, Royal Albert 0, Larkhall 1, Cambuslang 6, Neilson 0, Cumbernauld 3, Petershill 0, Kello 1, Pollock 6, Campbelltown 0, Renfrew 0, Lanark 1, Saltcoats 0, Meda 4, Ants 1, East Kilbride 3, Whitlets 1, Villa Clyde 3, Yoker 1, Largs 2, Cumnock 1, Maryhill 2. There we go.
Yep.
Start on the Friday night games. Hamley Row, well done to them. I think they might be the first team for Division 4 to beat a team in the league above them in a competitive match, so well done to Hamley Row.
Well done. Very well done. Heard it was a goalkeeper-inspired performance. Goalie with man of the match and some good saves for Hamley Row. But great result. Girvan have actually been going well of late. So for Hamley Row, big Friday night game. They've done the business and it's a tremendous result. I've kind of had a bit of chat with Hamley Row and stuff, congratulating them because that's very well done to them. They should be really proud of themselves next round of the cup for the Hamley Row.
Aye, mate, massive result. And you know what I'm like when it comes to Division 4. I'm always really pleased to see Division 4 teams doing well because it kind of shows that they merit their position within the setup. Gartcairn beating Fanart 3-1, 5-0 last time the two teams played. I actually managed to nip away from work and catch the first 15 minutes of the game that night. I thought Fanart started off better than it. Were you smiling at?
I'm telling the story, mate, but I'm not going to give too much away, mate.
All right.
Big PG turns up to the Fanart Gartcairn game. And who was it? Was it the Glen? Somebody for the Gartcairn committee? Is it?
Aye. Came up to us and I was in my work uniform and he says to us, starts talking away and I mentioned a couple of things about Gartcairn. He's like, oh yeah, you know much about the juniors? And I was like, aye, I like the juniors, mate, aye. He's like, all right, aye. Well, we're having a good season. I was like, aye, okay, my mate's like, he's looking at it as if, tell him who you are. I'm not embarrassing myself with that. It's like, aye, I like the juniors, mate, I do indeed.
So let's be honest, we think that a lot of people are watching it and tuning in and liking the stuff, man, but Gartcairn have got no idea who the both is, mate.
Committee members don't even know who we are. But
well, hey, that's better than an assistant gaffer shouting at a friend, start asking for one of my players, mate. Know what I mean?
But mate, it's just maybe that's what we need, just to bring us down a wee peg. We're getting too big time apparently.
Yeah, listen, it's no me, mate. Bring you down a peg or two, son.
Aye, all right. You'd have known who you were. So anyway, this isn't about us, right? It's about
Sorry.
So first 15 minutes, I thought Fanart started off better. Right in front of where I was, Fanart, for me, were denied an absolute stonewall penalty. For the referee is behind the players, so the boy the Fanart players went into the box. You could see it coming a mile off. He's positioned his body really well, got himself in front of the Gartcairn defender, who has clipped his heels, no meant it, but clipped his heels, stole more penalty. In a sense, I could maybe give the ref a wee break, saying the angle he's at might not have seen it. The linesman was basically right in front of me, perfect view, right at it. Nothing, didn't flinch, nothing. Game played on. And see, to be fair, that's a decent result. I spoke to Brian, Fanart manager, after it, and he was saying that for large spells they were probably the better side. But that's the difference with the Premier League teams, that they'll go and punish you if you don't take your chances against them.
Aye, all accounts for that have gave a good account of themselves. It's obviously the game's been one each for quite a decent spell of the game, but they've done well. But at the same time, they've lost the game. As you say, sometimes it's that wee bit of quality. But listen, that's not a disgrace. And knowing Brian and how confident a guy is, and he wants to go and win a game like that. Do you know what I mean? So people stand up. But I think sometimes when you're classed as a weir club and you're playing against the bigger clubs, I firmly believe that sometimes the officials don't give you decisions that maybe. I think that they always remember that the difference between the two clubs and all that. I'm not saying they're cheating anyway. I'm just saying sometimes it can be favourable to the bigger clubs when big teams
can be swayed. I think you're right. I mean, you even see that at
how was the crowd?
Mate, I was just about to comment on it. The crowd wasn't. See, obviously been to a few Friday games and we've been to one together and that. And the crowds have always been good. I wouldn't say it was brilliant. But what I would say is Fanart had more fans at it than Gartcairn did, which was good to see. But where I was, it was hard to tell. I'd probably say there was maybe a couple of hundred at it, which is still decent for a Friday night game.
Good to see the fans backing the Fanart.
It was good. I'm just going to actually stay on the thread of the Division 4 teams. Campbelltown losing 6-0 to Pollock. See, to be fair, going through it Newlandsfield, I don't think that's, I know it sounds daft, but I don't think it's not a shocker getting beat 6.5 Pollock. Pollock could do that to teams in the Premier League, never mind the Division 4 team who are only having a great season.
What a day that would have been for everybody at the club. They've lost the game 6-0. It's very comfortable for Pollock. I think Pollock have ended the game with 9 men as well.
Which is becoming a common thread.
Aye, well, Murdy will be disappointed that I don't know how the suspensions will work, but he'll be disappointed because I've seen one's obviously Big Wharton and that, and he's got a straight red, and he's probably going to be suspended now. And when you're winning the game 6-0 at a time or 5-0 at a time, he'll be disappointed because they're good players, big players. They've got some big league games and stuff coming up, so he'll be disappointed. But he'll be happy winning the game comfortably. My boy McGregor getting a couple of goals. At the same time, he'll be a wee bit disappointed to maybe lose some players to suspensions now in a game that was done. But Campbelltown, they gave a good account of themselves. It's been a great day probably for everybody connected to the club. Going to Newlandsfield is a brilliant place to go. Their players will be better for the experience. Their committee, they deserve it because it's a good day out for them as well. So they've probably been all in all a good day for them all. They've had probably a good day out, a few scoops along the way, and Pollock won the game, which everybody expected.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure that that Campbelltown would expect that day, but it's great for the club. And the final one being BSC going down to New Kilmarnock, losing 3-0 to Glenafton. For me, I don't know what kind of team Glenafton are, but it's a pretty solid result for BSC. I think that's credit to them for that, because that is decent. Going down, that's not an easy place to go, and they come away losing by 3 goals again. It sounding daft. It's a decent result.
Sorry, man, I'm coughing my lungs.
I know, mate. I know you've got the old Omicron or something.
I was smoking a cigar at the backyard now. No, it's no disgrace for them. And again, similar to Campbelltown, it's good for the BSC players to get down to a place like Glenafton with the setup that they've got there. Probably in a decent wee crowd there, probably not as big as what they get for normal home games. But a real good experience for them. They've been doing no disgrace themselves. They've done the division proud. Glenafton have won the game, as I said about the last one, that everybody expects, but they could keep their heat held high, and then dust themselves down and go again, because let's be honest with you, there'll not be a lot of teams in Division 4 better than Glenafton, and certainly a lot of teams named better than Paul and Glenafton, so no disgrace really.
Also, I forgot about them. Cosyth played the Bens at the Bens. Were one each for a spell. Ended up losing 4-1. Again, no disservice to the league that they've done. I thought that's a no too bad result either.
They're all playing against Premier teams, and the likes of Bens, Glenafton, and especially Pollock, who are flying really well. They've beat teams in their own division well and very very convincingly. So to beat teams in Division 4 convincingly is what you expect. When I looked at some of the teams that were these teams were putting out, certainly Pollock and the Bens, they were the biggest compliment I can give the Division 4 teams is they played a lot of boys that play week in, week out. I didn't see. They've probably maybe gave a few boys a run at that, or boys that need to match the games, but these teams have got quality squads, and that's what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of even teams in the conferences where we would take half of the players that's on the bench for these clubs.
I know.
So it's the quality that they've got. So they've probably not disgraced themselves as well. Give a good account of themselves, and just shows you, it gives them something to aspire to as well, that they've been to these places, played these teams and these players to see what their levels are about.
You all right? You gonna make it through?
I can't have COVID for a third time.
COVID gets to keep you if you get it again. Looking at some of the teams who haven't been doing so well in the conferences, I mean, comparing it to Division 4, Bonton take 8 off New Mains, Cowan take 5 off Royal Albert, which that's a kind of expected result for me. But it shows that even Cambuslang taking 6 off Lark Hall, there's no shame for what the Division 4 teams have done. It's a couple of right good results, shock results I want to touch on as well. First one, no mental shock because it's the same league, but Rob Roy beating the Talbot 1-0, I think that's a huge one. Maxi will be absolutely delighted with that.
Brilliant result, mate. Clean sheet against Talbot. It doesn't happen very often, does it? So, an absolutely fantastic result for Maxi and his young team as well. A lot of young players in that team, so what a belief and what a feeling that'll give them. Because we all know that Talbot are a good cup team. Doesn't matter what team they put out, they know how to get through cup ties. So tremendous for Rob Roy. Really, really big, impressive result. And let's be honest, their form's been very, very good of late.
Aye, that has been indeed. The fair picked up. We'll just get on to the now. The mighty Ashfield taking 6 off Glasgow Uni.
Aye. See, just quickly on Ashfield, I've got a scoop for you, mate.
Go for it.
Paul Maxwell is stepping down at the end of the season, mate.
Is that serious?
And we've told the players tonight.
Oh, you hadn't even told me this?
I know, mate. I'm telling you now because it's going to come out tomorrow, and this episode will be out that day that this is getting announced.
What's he stepping down for?
Maxi, I don't want to go into big massive detail, but Maxi's just been made the managing director of Ashfield Academy and the charitable trust, and I think that it's all just getting a bit too much for him with running that, running the first team, his own personal life, and it's just a lot. It's just a lot for him, and I'll go into more detail probably further down the line because it's raw, it's new, but I think there's more important things to try and work on for the club, and I think the best thing that Max is doing is he's not walking away from the club, he's just taking a new role where a lot of it is massive for the future of our club, and he's taking a step back for the first team to try and basically make the future of the club better, the future of the first team also, because it will be working on a lot of things off the part for the club. So a tough decision, mate. He told me last week, kept it quiet up until now. Not told anybody.
You're a prick, you never told us at all.
I know, mate. I've been hard, mate, because I need to consider my own future now. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I need to consider what I need to do now, because I love working with Maxi, and I love working with a group of boys. And for me now, basically the day, when this comes out, the club are going to advertise for a new manager, mate. There's going to be applications going out for a new manager. And right away, I'll put it to bed that I would love to throw my hat in the ring to be the next manager at Ashfield Football Club, but unfortunately, due to family life and work life and stuff like that, it's a brilliant job and one that I would love to do. And I've not made no secrets about what to be a manager as well, but it's just not the right time. So for me, it would be very difficult to give the role everything that it needs and it deserves. So what I need to do is I need to think what my next move is. If that's still with the club, whether the new manager would have me at the club, or should I step down with Maxi at the end of the season. So a lot of thinking today for your Uncle Dak. I'm gutted, mate. I had to tell the boys tonight it was a tough one. And Maxi, in my opinion, is an absolute legend, mate. He basically kept the club alive for the last 4 years, mate, and ran it by himself, full club, everything, owning Ashfield Park, done by that man. But it becomes too much sometimes. So now he'll focus on things Ashfield Park for the club, and someday will get the opportunity to manage the great club that's Ashfield.
So he's definitely staying at the end of the season.
We've said to Tam, the chairman, we're happy to. We just want to give it a chance. We want to try and club's still important to try and push and finish as high up the league as possible. And we think that we've got enough love and respect for the boys that we can still do the job. And the reason why the gaffer's announcing now is because if we do it at the end of the season, it might be a scramble to get something in place. So by saying it now, we give somebody a lot of time to either have a look, see if they fancy it, see if they fancy the players, watch plenty of games, even come up to training and stuff like that. But there'll be an interview process that the club will go through, and we've already said that we're more than happy to try and help the club find the best person for the job. So that's it, mate. So I've not really even said much about the football. So it's a sad day, mate. It's a sad day for the club. But as Maxi said, and he was spot on, it's just football. Nobody's hurt. Nobody's died here. Do you know what I mean? There's boys are there to play football. Maxi's going to do his work after part, and then the club will go through the process. I try to find a new manager or new management team, whatever they decide to do.
How did the boys take it?
It was quiet, mate. Very quiet. And to be honest with you, mate, I keep looking at my phone because I'm just looking at my phone because we just finished it. We'll see you on Wednesday. Training on Wednesday is normal, and left it at that. So no much is being said. I think it will take a wee while to hit home with a few, because I don't think the boys seen it coming. Whereas I knew last Monday, and the gaffers obviously had a conversation with Tam, the chairman, and that's where it's came to. But I don't want to take up all the podcast and the roundup show with Ashfield chat. I'm sure we'll chat more about it as the next couple of weeks as time goes by. But I'm sorry I've not told you, mate. But sometimes that you need to keep things to yourself, mate.
Whatever. Right. Well, just obviously I'll speak to Maxi before he goes or whatever, but for me on the podcast, I'd like to wish him all the best. I think that Maxi's a great guy. He's helped us out a lot as well, and I think the assistant manager's a bit of a dick, but I think he's all right. And I actually think Maxi's not leaving it. I know what he's done at the club. I know a lot of the stuff he's done behind the scenes, and I think that the club's in safe hands with him doing what he's going to be doing. So I suppose congrats in the sense that he's moving upstairs. But let's talk about the game. How was it?
Yeah, great, mate. I think, man, just boys done tremendous. Poor conditions. We've scored 6 goals. We were 4-0 up and cruising, and then we've conceded 2 goals. Uni came into it a bit, and then we've scored 2 goals towards the last 10. 6 goals. We'll get Roswell in the next round, which will be a real hard test. Delighted for the boys. Goals have been passed about. Couple for the centre half, couple for wee Dan Maguire. McManus getting his usual goal and a dubious one for Mark McManus. But he had a good night or night out on Saturday night. That's all I'll say about it, mate. Buzzing for them. Well done.
How many is that?
Doing all right.
How many is that McManus on? But 24?
24, mate.
Excellent return. Right, I'm going to make a prediction here right now. Right, Yous will beat Rossville 4-3 in the next round. There it is there. That's it.
No pressure, PG, mate.
Yeah, it doesn't put pressure on you, me saying that. It doesn't matter what I say.
Nah.
Let's see, where are we going to go now? Where are we going now? I'm off the road now.
It's not going to be a scoop because everybody's going to know, mate, because there'll be an announcement by the club in the morning, I'd imagine.
Do you know a good hot after us? Right, okay. Relentless Appley, 5-0 again. That's that done. Clydebank, comfortable 4-0 victory against Carluke. A result, not a massive shock, but one I didn't really see coming too much was Forth beating Perthshire 2-1. That was a good result for them.
Aye, very. Forth a good side, mate. Forth have picked up really good results, man. Eye-opening results, and they're still there or thereabouts, mate. So it's not a big shock to me because
Perthshire have been doing really well lately, and I thought maybe they'd have nicked something, but it's a good win for Forth. Let's see, one that did shock me, right, and it's up there with one of the results of the day. Lanark beating Renfrew 1-0 at Renfrew.
Brilliant. Chuffer and new gaffer, mate. Chuffer Simon, because he's had to go into a tough situation with the club struggling a wee bit. So well done to him and his backroom staff and the players for getting that. It's a clean sheet. It's a hard place to go to. It's a team flying, a team that we've really, really praised, that we've said a lot of good things about Renfrew. So brilliant. Well done to them. Chuff for them. That might be the catalyst for them to start putting results together. No, we've said it before. Sometimes a good positive result in the cup, just what you need is a wee kickstart. So well done to them. Many congratulations.
Right. Another surprising result. There's quite a few. Villa Clyde going to Whitlets and beating them 3-1. That's a result I never would have seen coming. Whitlets have been flying high. Villa Clyde, not so much. So that's a cracking result there. I think one as well that's quite important to touch on. Nielsen, who are a really good side, one of the top teams in the conference, go to play Kilmarnock and get beat 3-0, which is reasonably convincing. I thought Nielsen would have gave them maybe a game, so I think that Nielsen boys will probably be a bit disappointed with that. But we've spoke quite highly of Kilmarnock. I think they're a difficult team to beat, and 3-0 is quite convincing.
I think by all accounts it could have been more. I've seen Grant Hay, the goalie, Nielsen was getting a wee bit of praise off Tony. I think Tony was praising him up on it. It's one that probably Nielsen have said, we'll take the scalp of a team up above, but very, very professional job by Cumbernauld. Very well done to them. Boy Kareem up front getting a couple of goals. They're having a decent enough season. I think they've got as much a chance as the other teams in the pack of staying up in the league, and then they've been through in the cup. That's an impressive result in the cup. Got to Nielsen's never easy, so to go there and keep a clean sheet, win the game 3-0, and by all accounts maybe could have got another couple of goals, is impressive stuff for Cumbernauld.
Aye, yeah, it's a good result. Hurlford beating Kilburn 2-0. Hurlford scoring late on to get the second. I think that shows Hurlford are a good side. Something we've touched on the last couple of weeks, how under the radar and quiet there, but they seem to just go take points and beat teams and stuff. But I think it shows Kilburn are an improved side as well, where they're able to push them right to the last couple of minutes and possibly have a wee chance of getting something. Good result for Hurlford.
I think it's been a tight affair, PG. Spoke to Tommy and that as well. The messages to Tommy Malloy. I think it's been a tight affair. I think it's took a wee moment of magic. Either side was going to be the difference, and I think Hurlford have got that quality as well, and I think they've scored a belter their first goal, and then they've got one towards the end. So, a brilliant result for Dan and that. We always say how good a job they're doing.
Yep.
I think I think it was a tight affair. I think Tommy will take a lot of positives here. The big thing for them is it was another cup game, so they'll get back to league business, but they'll move on as well.
3 games left to talk about. Well, sorry, 4. I mentioned Yoker running Largs close. Another win for Largs and Arnie. They're doing not too badly. Like you've said before, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, Largs are a good cup side and always seem to be getting themselves through. One that I want to touch on is the Ants getting beat off East Kilbride. That is the Ants for me, all at the back. They go and get a great result against the Rock. They go and get a great result against the Drum. And no disrespect to East Kilbride, but then East Kilbride go and take 3 off them. That is the Ants for me. That's even though they've clearly improved under Danny and Cush and Ronnie, that shows that they're not quite at the heights that they want to be. They'll get the consistency. They'll be disappointed with it.
See East Kilbride, but East Kilbride are very organised and good side. They've brought through quite a few young boys as well. Great result for East Kilbride because let's be honest, the Ants' confidence is sky high now. So for them to get that, let's not take it away from East Kilbride. It's a top result for them. The big thing that I like as well is the boy Danny. I think it's Danny Hashim. I think that plays up front for East Kilbride. Gets a hat trick. He's first in basically what you would maybe class senior football. Some people would class it senior football. Gets a hat trick, and the St Ants committee, club, the boys of management have gave him the match ball to take
that was good. That was good.
Brilliant touch, mate. Don't think things like that should never get overlooked, mate. An absolute brilliant touch.
I know this might sound trivial to people who don't know the financial situation at certain clubs and that. See, for the Ants to give a match ball away. Now, I know it sounds daft. You know what it's like? It's probably an 80 quid ball they've gave that boy.
That's 80 quid ball, mate.
The Ants don't have hundreds of money to throw about buying.
Brilliant.
It shows how good a touch it is. So well done to the Ants on that.
A lovely touch, and especially when you've lost the game, you show that bit of class and touch when I give my hats after him. But well done, East Kilbride. Superb result. Superb to that young boy, Danny boy, getting a hat trick as well.
Big one, massive result for me. Maryhill beating Kilmarnock 2-1 down at Townhead. That is a huge result. We've spoken quite a bit about Maryhill, how well they've been doing. Ross has been doing a really solid job because I know that they've not had the best of times in the last few years. That's a huge result for them going down there and beating them 2-1.
I think you're saying that's your result of the day.
It is indeed my result of the day.
I think it was a real eye opener. It really was. I watched Ross's interview after it. Did you see it?
Mate, I never actually watched it all.
I liked where his mindset was at, and I liked his mentality that he'd been drumming into the players all week that they were going down there to win the game and nothing else. Not just going down there to give a good account of themselves. They were going down to win the game, and it's obviously worked. Whatever they've worked on and whatever he said's worked because they went down there. Brilliant result. It's hard because Kilmarnock. See the big thing for me, right? Maryhill are going well now, and Kilmarnock aren't going so well. So it's a team that's in form against a team that's maybe not quite much in his form. So it's a brilliant result for Maryhill. One that I didn't expect, if I'm being honest with you. But Gents will be disappointed. But the league's Kilmarnock's priority, right? The league is Kilmarnock's priority big time. I've seen he signed a couple of players. So listen, it'll take Gents, man. It'll probably not even be next season till Gents has got his actual team up in the park. But they really need to pick it up. They really need to get going. They really need to start winning football games because the more you lose games, it doesn't matter if it's cup games or whatever. You don't want to start becoming a habit. So listen, Gins is a top manager. Really, Maxi speaks so highly of him. I don't know him so well, but the jobs he's done elsewhere, he knows this grade, he knows the players. No doubts that he's going to do a tremendous job down there. But it'll be a disappointing one for them. But what a day for Maryhill, what a day for the faithful Maryhill.
Brilliant for them. We'll move on to your result of the day.
Yeah.
Petershill 0, Kello 1. For me, that was tight between that and Maryhill game for me. It's a great result for Kello. Team who have been struggling. Petershill are probably, other than Arthurlie, probably the most informed team in the whole of the West right now. So I particularly getting up there and no losing a goal, I didn't see that coming. So well done to Kello.
That's the reasons that's my result of the day, because let's be clear, let's put out there that everybody thinks Kello are struggling, right? If you look at the league, people probably don't think they're a good side, but they're a team sometimes, like I say about us, that they're a better team than what their position actually shows. If you get me, do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's a wee bit harsh sometimes, but I know the season's done consistently and things like that, but Peasy are flying. They've won 15 games in a row. They're at home against a team that's in a conference that's lower down. I think everybody would have thought they'd only seen that going the one way. So to go there and keep a clean sheet, win the game 1-0 is a absolute tremendous result for Kello. Well done to Tony. Well done to their team. The boy Matt Armour scored. He's actually a good player, the boy. If you're playing against him, I think he scored a couple against us at the start of the season. So well done to Kello. They deserve a big shout out, because they've not had loads to shout about. But Tony's went up there and he seems to be getting
very, very good job so far.
He's to getting a wee tune at the boys and getting something back after them. So well done.
Right, well done. And there was league games this weekend as well.
Is there?
There was league games. Premier League, Troon 2, Rossvale 1. Rossvale, they put a tweet out last week, was it? Talking about how it's no always going to be great. And see, to be fair, for a club of their age, they've been very successful. I mean, that's probably 12 years they've been going. And for a club their size and their age, the fact that they're in their second season in the Premier League, it shows how great a job they've done. They've been fantastic. But now they're in that situation where they're really struggling. They've played 25 games, only got 20 points. I can't see Largs not overtaking them. All they need is 2 points to go past them and 6 games in hand. Kilmarnock, like we've said, they're starting to motor a wee bit, so they'll get away from them with 4 games in hand. I don't think Blantyre or Bonnet will catch them. I think their seasons are all but done in a sense. Rossvale are gone, they're down. Troon, that was a good win for them. That keeps them in 10th place. I think they'll be safe this year. But it's just been a hard spell for Rossvale. Jamie, like you said, with Gintz there, it's not his team yet. It'll have to be next year when they go down a division. Jamie can start going for there.
They've drew with Clydebank on the Wednesday before that, do you know what I mean? So they've picked up a positive result, especially after the back of the Beeve result. I think with Rossvale, you've got to remember, you're bang on what you're saying. Rossvale have been punching above their weight for years. Everything that happened at Rossvale, it's just been like that, because they've went for coming into this level and they went right up into the top division, and they deserve an enormous amount of credit. Really do. I think this season is just going to be too far for them. I think I can't see them getting enough out of the league and enough points to stay in the league personally. But with Jamie there and a chance for them summer to work, they have been bringing in a few bodies as well. Gets a bit of time for him to work with them. Then it's still important to them, because it's going to be more important for the players that are there and for Jamie, so he knows his plans for next season. There's a lot of boys there. If they don't get the finger out, they might not be at the club anymore, or there could be boys there that go and play well between now and the end of the season, and they're very much in his plans for next season. So it's no a dead season for them, because boys should have that pride and want to play well and want to go and impress and want to do the business. So, but I think it's a very tough ask.
I think that Rossvale will be a very different side next year. I think they'll have a lot of different players. Obviously, when a new manager will always want to get his players in, put his stamp on the team. I think that, I don't know this is just how things normally go with these situations when a team's been flying high and then it goes kind of sideways for them a bit. You end up seeing a lot of players leaving. Hopefully it doesn't mean that they're going to go on a downward spiral, because again, we've seen that hundreds of times in the juniors where clubs have been right up the top and just dropped through the league. I'm not saying that'll happen, but I'm hoping it doesn't. Moving on to Conference A, Maple 0, Borough 1, massive result for the Borough, they've started to pick up a wee bit in the last few games. Maybe we'll be disappointed with losing there because they've had a pretty good season, to be fair.
Very good result.
Good one.
Very good win for Jamie and the boys. That's a couple on the bounce now for them, isn't it? See, they're taking the young fans, the Borough boys down.
Ah, brilliant, isn't it?
Brilliant to see. Brilliant to see youngsters in the next generation of fans hopefully going out and watching the club. So well done to Jamie and the Borough. It's a tremendous result. It's been down to Ladywell's, no an easy Ladywell, I'm sure it is.
Hard place to go, man. Really hard place to go.
It's Ladywell. I don't know. It's no Ladywell's at no Luger. I'm not sure.
I don't even know where it's called, but it's a hard place to go.
It's a hard place to go to, and it's a good result for them. It's a big part, and they've went down and won the game. So, and it's a clean sheet for Jamie and all, which is something to build on as well, which is always good.
I'm going to skip Conference B. Then that'll be our last game that we finish on. On to Conference C. The Drum beating Vale even 4-2. No real shocks with that. Vale even have been doing a wee bit better late. Got a couple of goals against the Drum. I think the Drum needed that after the loss last week. They've got a good win, got themselves back on, and see, to be honest, it's they needed that because Petershill, if they're going to continue the way they're going, the Drum are going to need to get as many points in as possible. 12 points between the two of them. Petershill get 3 games in hand, so that was a big win for them.
Aye, big win. And they bounced back on league duty after the Ants result, innit?
Aye. So
it's important. So why the teams bounce back. So they've moved on already. They've dusted themselves down, and they've it's another 3 points of where they're trying to go. As you say, they much rather have the points on the board, and the teams are looking up and having to catch them. They've got the games in. They've got the points on the board, so they can sit back probably later down the line and see if the other teams can handle the pressure. So, it's a good result for the Drum because Vale are leaving. They've been going well, and we've been singing their praises here the last couple of weeks.
Yep. Final game, we'll move on. Conference B, huge game for me, and you know I like to just pin my colours to the mast. For me, decided the league this weekend. St Cadoc's drawn 2-2 with Gartcairn. I think that's pretty much done it for Cambuslang. Two good sides getting a draw. I don't really know how the game went, but we'll talk about the other stuff in Conference B just before we finish. What's your thoughts on the result?
I think the results, I'm not really surprised. As you said, it's two good teams, two good football teams. There's been a lot at stake at that game, isn't there? Because as you say, if before the game, Gartcairn are probably saying, Wally and that are probably saying if we lose the game, we're out of it. And then Southie and that's probably saying to his boys, we need to win to stay in it. So the biggest winner of that game is Cambuslang, mate. They're rubbing their hands, and if they were to, if Billy and Paul and the boys down there were to pick a result for that game, it would have probably been a draw, mate, because it's just it kind of just helps him out with the both of them. Not one of them have won the game, and they've not really closed the gap on them. So no surprise it's been a draw. Two good sides. But it's a very good result for Cambuslang, mate.
Cambuslang are sitting on 51 points. All 3 teams have played 19 games. Cambuslang sitting on 51 with a goal difference of 65. St Cadoc's sitting on 45 with a goal difference of 44. Gartcairn 43 points, 40 goal difference. So you're basically looking at Cambuslang, that goal difference is worth an extra point. I can't see, they've dropped 6 points in 19 games. I can't see them dropping 7 points in the next 8 games. I think, sorry, how many? Next 9 games. I can't see them dropping 7 points in 9 games. It's just no, it can happen. It's only a couple of defeats.
Listen, anything can happen in football, and Southie and that will no give up the ghost, and they'll be hoping that there's a wee bit of good fortune falls on them. But I think, to be honest with you, the good fortune's already happened for maybe some of the clubs, no?
On that, as we've spoke about a couple of times, Gartcairn was played a suspended player against Cambuslang when they beat them, and the SFA rules are normally £500 and 3 points taken off. For some reason, I don't know why, Gartcairn have a £200 fine and no points taken off them. Now, this isn't a go at Gartcairn because they didn't decide what the punishment was. I cannot for the life of me understand why that decision's been made. I think that sets a horrible precedent. What does that mean? You at Ashfield, you are playing somebody, and for talk's sake, it's the difference going up a league. At the last game of the season, you get 3 players suspended, and you go, fuck it, we'll just play the 3 suspended players and we'll take the £600 fine because it'll be worth 30 anyway. I think it's a
I know. I totally get what you're saying, but and let's be honest, the punishment that they've received means that clubs probably could go and do that and not expect to lose any points. But I think what you've got to think about and remember is the integrity, mate, of the game.
I think there's none after that.
I know, but I know for one, if it was us and I had 4 players suspended and I knew they were suspended, I wouldn't play them if I knew it was a fine. But I know what you're getting at. I know the point.
You're saying integrity, right? You're talking about integrity. That's your integrity, obviously, where you said you wouldn't do that, right? And I think you'd be 100% right not to do that. But where's the integrity after that? Because now the precedent's been set. Nobody can have points taken off them for playing suspended players. That's it. Because see if they do, then that's cheating, basically. Because how can you have one set of rules for one club and no for another club? I think it's, again, no having a go at Gartcairn because they didn't make the decision on what their punishment was, even though they've made the mistake. I think that this is a horrendous decision because it's just set a precedent. And what about Royal Albert? They get points taken after early in the season.
Well, that's my big thing, because you need to treat all clubs with the same fairness and respect. And for Royal Albert to have a different punishment for any other team isn't fair. No. It's got to be. We as managers and coaches and stuff ask for consistency off our players, right? We ask them to go out and consistently play well and consistently give all they've got. All we want is consistent. The powers that be, when they make these decisions, make them consistent, make them fair. That's all we ask for, because what's to stop if this happens again? Unfortunately, if it's human error, if it is, then and somebody gets a different punishment, why should somebody else be the scapegoat because they didn't get it right the first time or the second time? They've got to make sure that they get it right. They've got to make sure it's a set. It should be a set punishment or a set.
That is what the thing is. It should be the £500 and the 3 points. But as far as I'm
not saying it because you know the way I am. I don't try and speak about a turn about any club because it's not my style and I don't like to do it. I know how hard the gig is, and I don't want to have a go at the league either because I love the league and I love the way that they support the podcast and all that. But what I don't like, or whoever makes the decision, then what I don't like is the inconsistencies of the decision, how other teams can get something totally different for other sides, and I don't think that's fair. And that's all you look for when you're involved in football. You want fairness as much as possible, and it's not right, mate.
I see. For me, again, I could be wrong, right? So I'd appreciate it if somebody would come on and say, let us know that I've got the wrong end of the stick. As far as I'm aware, the league had given them the £500 fine and the 3 points as the rules stated. Then Gartcairn have got a lawyer who has gone and appealed it with them, and they've went to the SFA, and the SFA have overruled it, which means they've went with 200. I'm probably wrong in the league part. They might never have been involved, but it's the SFA that's went through. What does that mean? Because Gartcairn can afford to get a lawyer who is obviously showing up some sort of flaw and loophole in the rules, they can get away with it. But Royal Albert can't afford that. Royal Albert have ended up getting a fine that could have potentially put them out of business because that's a lot of money to them. It's a farce, mate. I think it's an absolute joke.
See the thing is, right, and this is the last thing I'm going to say on it, because at the end of the day, I don't want to get into trouble myself. So I'm trying to be as impartial as possible, and I think that I have been. But it's not right, mate. It's not right, and I don't want to see I don't want to see Gartcairn or any other club get into trouble or get hammered, mate. But at the same time, I don't think it's right situation. I don't think they've got it right. And that's the end of it. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say on it, because they've dealt with it. They've dealt with the way they think's fit. I totally agree with what you're saying, but it's
that's the thing. It's like, I'm sitting here, I'm not saying anything about the league because I don't think it's been the league. I think it's been the SFA as far as I'm aware. I'm not having a go at Gartcairn because they've appealed it and they've got what they've got. They don't choose their punishment. I feel for the likes of Royal Albert because I think it's shit on them, but that is what it is. And it's good. It's good in a sense because it gives us a wee extra something to talk about. So we've had your scoop.
See, the thing is, the last thing I want to say is we're not privy to all information.
No,
we're not privy to what happened behind the scenes, and I certainly wouldn't claim that I know every bit of in and out. And I'm like everybody else out there. You hear wee snippets, nice. You hear a bit of hearsay for everybody, but if I speak to people from Gartcairn who I know, they'll probably tell me a different story.
No,
to people it.
That's like, the thing. We don't claim.
But I'm just basing it on what I know, and let's be honest, let's just break it down right. They've played a player that shouldn't have played. They've won the game. In football, if that's a guy that plays for 2 minutes or a 90 minutes, we know what the punishments are in football.
Right, definitely.
And so that's all I'm going to say on it.
No, mate, I think you're spot on with that. I think you're right. That's a good weekend. Good. That was a good show. I enjoyed that one. We apologise that it's a day late. Just through work circumstances, we weren't able to get it done like we always do.
You never know, mate. Once I'm unemployed, mate, I might get off the fence a wee bit more and start sticking it a wee bit. That
would be nice, mate. You gave us a wee touch there. It was better.
Think so?
You gave us a wee something. You gave us a wee how you were actually feeling. What you say to me normally instead of when you're on this. I'm only kidding. So we apologise again that we're a day late. And remember, Wednesday, Bob Malcolm, the guys played at a ridiculous level, won trebles, played in the Champions League. He's got a lot of good stories. Funny, some of the stories where he's talking about guys as if it's nothing, and we're like, you're talking about like world-class players, and you're just it's just such and such. But it's well worth tuning in, so please do on Wednesday, and hope you enjoy the week. Bob
Malcolm, mate, big gentle giant, mate,
so.
Next days, mate, but great guy. Some of it, as you say, mate, the players he's played with, it's a good football listener watch if you get the time. And just to finish up, Paul Maxwell, I love you, mate. What a job you done at the club, mate. And let's hope we can finish the season in a high, my man. And they boys as well. We all stick together. We'll stick together till the end.
All the best, Ashfield. Have a good weekend. Or a good week. I told him it's fucking Monday. Right. Monday. Have a good week, everybody. See you later.